Right. Okay. First of all, I would like to thank uh, the Wilderness and Wildlife Society of Royal College to give me this opportunity to give a lecture on whales and dolphins. Right. Before we starting the lecture, I would like to give some more information regarding where I am coming from, and so I'm a member of Young Zoologists Association, and the Young Zoologists Association, it's a non-profitable and non-governmental organization based in Dehiwala Zoological Garden, and we annually 1,000 members are participating for our programs like education programs, and every Sunday we have lectures, and mainly with the 5 groups we calling mammals, uh, aquatic life, butterflies, and reptiles and flora. So those are the groups, and under those groups the students are studying and getting knowledge about those the fields, and especially that our main theme is protecting environment, conserving environment through education. So that is our theme. That's what we are giving education for them. So that is my basic background where I'm coming from. And okay, so I'm going to start the lecture. And do everyone can see the presentation?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So in this picture, in the first picture, that you can see the biggest animal in the planet, right? We call him blue whale, and so the blue whale is the biggest animal. And can you see there are small fish in the body of the whale? Can you all see them? Can you see the mouse, that cursor? So those the small fish we calling remoras. If not, those ones are like uh, they are we calling sucker fish. So they suck the dead skin of the whales, right? So so there is there's an interconnection that the remoras are helping to clean the whale skin. So, so now the lecture we're going to talk about the whales and dolphins, right? Okay. Before we move to the next slide, can you all hear me? Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Right. Okay. So I'm moving to the next slide. So these are the the common whales and dolphins that we can find in Sri Lanka, in the sea around Sri Lanka. So these are the main common ones. So I'll put these pictures: the blue whale, sperm whale, and Blight's whale, dolphin, and bottlenose dolphin, and strip dolphin, spinner dolphin, and orca, if not we calling the killer whale. So these are the common dolphins and whales that we can find in Sri Lanka around the sea in the country. So the next slide. So I'm going to give a brief uh, information introduction. What is the main difference between a fish and a dolphin, or a whale, right? So generally, the whales and dolphins, they are mammals. They are mammals like us. So they can change their body temperature according to the environmental condition, environmental temperature, especially. So they can change their body temperature according to the environment uh, temperature. But the fish, they cannot do that. They are we calling cold-blooded, right? They cannot change their body temperature according to the environment changes. So that is one thing. What is the uh, difference between a fish and a whale and dolphin? And the second thing, the whales and dolphins are using lungs to breathe like us. So they are using the lungs to breathe, but the fish, they are using gills. So they are using gills to breathe. So they can get the oxygen in the water through their gills. But dolphins and whales, they cannot they have to come to the surface of the water to get oxygen. And there are some creatures like frogs or amphibians. They can absorb oxygen through their skin, the wet skin, right? Then but the but well, like the whales and dolphins, they should come to the surface water to get oxygen. That's why we can see them, right? We are uh, calling whale watching. So the people going there, the most lot of foreigners comes to do whale watching tours, and that's what the people going to see them because they are coming to the surface to absorb oxygen. Right. The next different between a whale and a fish. The fish, they move their fins like side to side, right? They move their fins side to side because that's what they can they're using to moving. But the like whales and dolphins, they are uh, using their back the fin to up and down, right? Up and down. Then they can come to the surface, to the up, right? Especially up and for the diving, and that's what they are moving up and down there. But the fish, they they're moving their the fins to side to side, right? So the next different, the whales and fish. The fish are laying eggs, but the whales and dolphins, they are giving birth to the young ones, right? The small ones, small babies, right? So those are the different uh, things between a fish and a dolphin or whale. So whales and dolphins comes in a mammalia group. We call it mammals. So they are warm-blooded, and they have hair, right? But when we comparing like a primate and a whale, so whale has little bit. It means a small, really limited hair. We cannot see those things as well, but they have hair when we comparing with a ape. And so the mammals, the whales and dolphins, they breathe through from their lungs, and they're giving birth to the uh, small ones. And both of them are vertebrate. They have backbone, and the fish, they are cold-blooded and they have scales, right? And hatch from eggs. So those are the different between mammal, if not a whale and a dolphin and fish, right? So hope you all get an idea about the main difference between a whale and a fish, right? Okay, so I'm going to explain the next part. So generally, the blue whale is the biggest animal. It means the biggest creature in the world. So it get maximum weight 200,000 kilograms, and length of a male, it will be around 25 to 28 meters, and female is 30 meters, bit more longer than a male, and calf will be around 4 meters. So that uh, when we so this is the biggest one. And their diet is krills, if not we calling shrimps, those are the that is the main diet of a blue whale, right? I will talk about the other whales as well. Most of the carnivorous whales, all are carnivorous. That dolphins and the whales both are carnivorous, and the whales are depending specially on the quills, if not and in the same way the shrimps, right? So this is one of the comparison between whales. So this is a human around 6 feet, and a blue whale 30 meters 100 feet, and a sperm whale it is around 50 to 60 feet, and a killer whale it is around 30 feet. The killer whale is the biggest dolphin, right? Biggest dolphin in the world. We call him killer whale. And humpback whale it is around 50 feet long. So that is a comparison between a human and other whales. The blue whale is the biggest one uh, that we can find in Sri Lanka. So the next thing, how do whales and dolphins catch their food, right? So both are carnivorous, mainly depending on fish. And we can divide whales into two groups: toothed whales and the baleen whales, right? So in the slide, right hand side, in your right hand side, you can see that baleen plate. So the baleen plate created from the keratin. From the keratin, it created, and it's a large. So the whales, like blue whales, having this, and they get a large scale of fish, and they can filter that through this baleen plate. But the toothed whales, like sperm whale, killer whale, and they have tooth, right? And so they hunt, and they hunt using their teeth, right? Especially the sperm whales and humpback whale or killer whale. They are bit more. The killer whale is bit more really aggressive one, and they are catching. They are eating the small whales as well, the killer whales. And humpback whale also, they have a special characters, behaviors to hunt. I will explain those things in the later part. So this is how the whales and dolphins catch their food. Echolocation. Echolocating is the main system that they are using to catch the whales and dolphins, and especially underwater it is really dark, and they cannot use their eyes to get vicinity, so they are using a echolocating system. It means like radar, if not like waves. They are releasing waves, and then when it come repeat back, they get an idea about how is the area. Sometimes if there's a rock, if there's a fish, or if there's a big fish, or those things, they can locate from that sense. We calling echolocating. And skimming is the thing that they can use, like it's like a scanning, right? From in then when they comes to the surface water, they can see the fish or their diet from their eyes, from their naked eye. That is the thing. And the bubble nesting means most of the like humpback whales, they making bubbles around the if they found a big group of fish, they put the bubbles around that the group, and then they goes down underwater, and they comes up. That's how they are catching that the big group of fish. So that is, we call in bubble nesting. And cooperative hunting, this system is using specially like killer whales. If they want to catch a blue whale cub, right, and small one, so they're going around, and two or three killer whales are fighting with a big that whale, that mom, and then two killer whales are trying to catch the small one. So those type of the systems, if not we calling these things behaviors or habits, the special habits that they're using, the whales and dolphins using these things to catch their prey. Okay, and the next slide, I'm going to explain about the food web of the blue whales. Uh, Especially we calling the phytoplanktons, if not those are like microscopic flora, microscopic plants that especially we can see those things uh, in the in closer to the beach, right, in that part. And the microscopic that planktons, we call it phytoplanktons, are getting a diet for the zooplankton. Zooplanktons are small, like microscopic animals. They eat that, and those zooplanktons are the meal for the quills, if not shrimps. So when the shrimps are the main food of the blue whale. That's what they're feeding. So this is the food web of the whale. Uh, the whale. Okay, this is the whale shark. Whale shark is the biggest shark in the world. In the same way, biggest shark means the biggest fish in the world, the whale shark. So the whale shark sightings also, uh, some of the marine people, divers, they have recorded the whale shark around the Trincomalee area. Right. Then when you talk about the species, the whales and dolphins, Sri Lanka is one of the rich, diverse area for the cetacean group. Cetacean group means the whales and dolphins. We getting telling that we have rich diversity, but the gap is limited information, limited research done in this field. When you're comparing the especially mammals, the land mammals, the Sri Lankan scientists have done a lot of research, but the marine mammals, it is limited, not a lot of resources, not a lot of information about that. Uh, so the recently updated biodiversity profile in Sri Lanka 2019, they have included 28, 28 marine mammals, recorded marine mammals in Sri Lanka. So we'll talk about the continental shell because this is the special and most rich, diverse area for the marine mammals and the reef fish, and especially that the like sea diversity, sea biodiversity. So because this continental shell, it is really when you take the continental shelf, it comes to 1 kilometer from the beach. So it is really that shallow water is there. The depth is very low until this 1 kilometer. So then it's getting a lot of sunshine to these areas. Then uh, the small like we calling that phytoplanktons and the zooplankton diversity means that abundance, if not we calling that lot of zooplanktons are there because it has a lot of food, right, phytoplanktons there. So then the whales and other fish and their food, lot of food is in this area we calling continental shelf. So this continental shelf is the best place and best location to see uh, see whales and dolphins, right? So there we calling a whale triangle, if not whale watching triangle in the country. The main area we calling Mirissa in down south, and that is best to see the whales, right? The blue whales, best area. And in the same way that the trincomalee is the next one, it can see the whales. And uh, Kalpiti is the other place. The Kalpiti is uh, best to see the dolphins, right? To dolphin watching. So these three parts we calling the whale watching triangle. Okay, so I'll explain about the Mirissa area. So Mirissa, that Dondra Head is the south tip of Sri Lanka, and in this part, that lighthouse there, and there are two main shipping lines going here, right? So one shipping line, it is 1,000 meters depth, means it's going very closer to the continental shelf. And the next one, second shipping line, it is around 2,000 meters depth. These two shipping lines are one of the most popular shipping lines in the world, right? So the most popular two shipping lines. So these two shipping lines going here, and so this part that until the continental, this is the best area to do the whale watching and dolphin watching. This is Dundra lighthouse. Yeah, this is one of my friend. We call him. He has done a lot of like research on whales and dolphins in Miris area, Anoma Alagiavadu. So he is watching the dolphins and whales from the lighthouse. So these are the research done from himself, Anoma Alagiavadu. These are the records that he get right in the continental shelf, and these are the places that he recorded the blue whale and the spinner that the killer whales, and these are the records that he get. And so in the previous slide I explained about the shipping lines, and this is a sperm whale. And here look this the propeller, that noise is especially that noise, if not the vibration, is disturbing for them. And in the latter part of the lecture I will show you uh, some of the threats that the whales and dolphins are facing because of these the propellers, if not the ships. So look at this ship and how close the sperm whale is there. So that I told you that the first shipping line, it is going closer to the coastal area. To do the research, if not observations, the researchers are using a lot of GPS and other navigation equipments to locate the whale. And in the same way that hydrophones, because for the echolocating, and they are using the hydrophones, right? Right. These records from Mr. Anoma Lagiavadu when he's doing whale watching. There's a 96% of possibility to see the blue whale in Mirissa when they're doing the whale watching tours. And the spinner dolphin, 64%, and the bottlenose dolphin, 16%. It means these ones are a bit more really common when they're doing the whale watching tours. Definitely, most of the time they can find the blue whale, spinner dolphin, and bottleneck in the same way that the bright whale as well. These are some of the common sightings when they're doing these tours, right? So the killer whales, it is 3.7%. It's really low. Strip dolphins, 0.9%, low. Okay. So the main uh, main identification, if not the one of the how to identify a whale, how to notice a whale is the water spout, right? This is the water spout, and that is the when we doing whale watching, when we found a water spout, so we can say that we can notice there's a whale, right? So the specially most experienced, if not the researchers, they know how to identify a blue whale and and a sperm whale through this water spout, right? Especially that the water spout, it's getting a bit more straight in the blue whale. They call that it's around 90 degrees, but due to the wind, it's getting a bit more like to one side. But it is especially the straight tall blow comes from the blue whale, right? So you'll ask why it's coming, right? It comes from. So I earlier I told you that the whales, dolphins, they are using lungs to absorb oxygen, right? So they comes to the surface of the sea to get oxygen. So when they comes, they get the blow, if not from the lungs, they 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 blow and get a empty space, right? Empty space to absorb oxygen. If not, that water going into their nostrils and to the blowhole. Because of that, they spray that. They spray. It means, so we calling exhale all the air. Exhale the air inside, and then from the exhale this happening, right? It means that spraying. So then they get an empty space without water, then they can absorb oxygen from there. So that is helping them to not then that water, if not sea water, not going into their lungs. That's what they're doing this. So we calling this is the water spout. This is one of the identification that the people using to identify a sperm whale and a blue whale. And so this is one of the habit they're using to absorb oxygen, right? And this is the you can see a small one, uh, and this is a blue whale, right? Do this comparison uh, between a whale and a ship, right? You can see how big is this. This is one of the really risk risk and not responsible tourism, we're calling this, right? And so this is the area, if not these are the habitats of the blue whales and dolphins. uh, some researchers are telling that the whales have a migration and from Arabian Sea to Bay of Bengal, right? They have a migration around these areas through Maldives, right? It comes through the Maldives as well. And but some researchers, some people tells that the whales going around Sri Lanka, they're not migrating, right? Those two uh, those two things, those two uh, things are there. The researchers are telling those two things, but still we can believe both things, right? They sometimes they will have a migration from Arabian Sea to Bay of Bengal through Maldives, and sometimes they're going around Sri Lanka. They stay around Sri Lanka. Right, look at there's these pictures from Mr. Anomalagewadu, that underwater pictures of blue whale. Another one. Look at these the remoras, the sucker fish. They suck they take off and suck the dead skin of the blue whale, right? This is the diving, right? So when they're hunting, we can see the rapid diving. It means in close area, like around 100 meters area, that we can see when they're hunting, they're rapidly diving. But when they're moving, we cannot see them. If we find this type of wave, but we cannot, when they generally moving, we cannot see them close by, right? When they, if we found them first, then around 200 to 300 meters, we can see them again, right? So, but they're hunting, when they hunt, they are rapidly, they going and diving. And the sperm whales, the water spout, you can see it is very small, right? When we're comparing with the blue whales water spout, it is very small one. Right? Blue whale is, it is a bit more like slant forward, right? It's really low. So this is the researchers are using these two uh, the views to identify the sperm whale and blue whale. Look at the sperm whale. This is the blowhole of the sperm whale. This is how they absorb oxygen, right? And another identification key of the blue whale and sperm whale, and you can see that the fin, the dorsal fin. This is the dorsal fin, and the blue whale's dorsal fin, it is really smooth outline, but the sperm whales, it's not smooth. It's like the knuckles, right? Look at this shape. These are photographic identification. Sometimes from the naked eye, most of the time we cannot see this different, but through the photographs, if not through the binoculars, we can see this different. And again, the same thing, right? Right, the sperm whales are a bit more, they are social, right? They're staying sometimes with two or three individuals. And from the flock patterns, you can identify the sperm whale and blue whale. And the sperm whale flock pattern, it's like V shape, right? It is more deeply indented into V. But the blue whales, the flock, it's like flat, right? And the broad, long, broad flock pattern. And the sperm whales, mostly they especially they dive. They can dive into like more like 100 to 200 meters. So they get a big dive. That's what we can see, that the flock pattern, that back area, it is getting a bit more like 90 degrees here. They're going really deep. But the blue whales, they are not like that. They don't go really deep. And the bright whale, uh, from the dorsal fin, it's like a hook, right? Hook type of dorsal fin is there. That's how we can identify the bright whale. Bright whale, it's not a common the whale that we can find here. And the dolphins, look, this is the blowhole of the dolphin, right? So they are staying with the groups, right? Most of the time. This is the spinner dolphins. Spinner dolphins are the common dolphin, the species that we can find in our the sea, Sri Lankan Sea area. right? Sometimes you can find 2,000 individuals in some groups. And look at this, the spinners. This is how they get the name, the spinner dolphins. They can spin around 8 times, sometimes more times, like spinning. Spinning means it's like a spinner, the bowler spin the ball like that. They can spin. It's a one of the really most attractive the view when we're doing whale watching. We can say this. It's one of the attractive view, and really nice when they spin with a group. So that is the one of the best sight, and very people are really enjoying when they see this. There's also spinner dolphins. Again, spinner dolphins. Right. This is the bottlenose dolphin. Look, they have a bit more like a bottle type of nose, right? When you see this, it's when you comparing with the spinner dolphins, they have a bit more that bit more long nose part. So, but these ones are nose. It's like a bottle. It's a bottle shape. That's why we call him bottleneck, bottlenose dolphins or bottlenose dolphins. And the pilot whales. These are the pilot whales, uh, short fin file pilot whales. And resort dolphins also, they also doesn't have that the nose part, and in the same way their skin, uh, that skin we can see like small, like the fractions in the skin, white color, right? These are same. And the striped dolphins, this is also one of the rare dolphin variety that you can find in Sri Lanka. Look at the strip, the black color strip is there. That's what we calling striped dolphin. The definitely when we doing whale watching, we have to take a binocular, if not a camera has a long lens. Then you can take the pictures and identify. That is one of the most essential thing. And we'll talk about the responsible whale watching and dolphin watching. And this is the continental shell area up to thousand meters, one up to 1 kilometer. So we have to stop when we found when we see the water spout. We have to uh, stop the ship that's in that part, and we should be side, because if we stay directly into a well, then we are disturbing to that. Then it will move around. So we have to stay in a side to have a good look, get a better view of a whale, right? These are the whale watching boards that the people are using. And whale watching is one of the main like a lot of famous tourist attract excursion. And in the same way it get a lot of foreign income to Sri Lanka, and a lot of people depending on that the people around the Miris and Kalpiti area, they are depending on the whale watching tourism. So it is really important, right? And these are the whale watching pictures. Look, the whale and the ship. Look at the water spout, and so this is a blue whale, right? Blue whales water spout. And this is the ship line, the ships and whale. And these are the damages caused by these ships, right? Because due to these type of the accidents, it will really affecting on whales, because if these type of crack, if not the damage injured happening to whale, then they will, most of the time they're getting die, and if not they're having really big issues. So this is the issue, because the first shipping line is really close to the continental shelf. So the continental shelf is the rich, diverse, the whale richness rich area. So that the first shipping line is because really closer to that, then they get this type of injuries, right? So look, the same thing. Look at this, the crack there. And so every year we can hear these type of really bad and sympathetic incidents because of these type of issues, right? And for the dolphins, because there's uh, some parts of the world, then the dolphin catching is still going, but most of the conservation people, they uh, they always talk about that to stop the dolphin fishing, but still it is happening. Sometimes the bycatching also happening, and due to that, this magnificent and nice creatures are getting died. And because of the fishing nets, look at the fishing net, it attached to this the tail, and for the lifetime it is there. And the awareness and these things I got from Mr. Anomalagiyawadu. There's a whale and dolphin awareness center in Lighthouse Hotel, Jetting Lighthouse. These are the pictures, and most of the people, they try to give awareness the whale watching, uh, the that the tour coordinators and the people around that area, they're giving awareness to conserve these magnificent the creatures. So these pictures, this area is the Jetwing Lighthouse Awareness Center. And when we're doing whale watching, we can see the cedar that uh, and especially the reef fish and the sea birds and turtles as well. Right. Okay. So I'm going to end my presentation.